So, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! So for those of you unaware, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card game made for children that me, a 20-year-old, plays every single weekend. For the past 5 years. What did I fucking do to deserve this? Anyway, I've been playing since about 2012, so that's around like 8 or 9 years, if I can use my second grade math skills. And in that amount of time, I've just now got the right amount of confidence to tell my friends and personal family that I play this game. If that doesn't say anything about what it feels like to play this fucking game, I don't know what does. So anyway, I figured since I'm already wasting my time investing money in literal cardboard, I figured I could try and do a cool video, whatever on it. I'm just gonna rip off the people that normally do it better than me. Let's go. Yeah, basically I'm just gonna play a deck. That's what you do in this game. That's shocking, right? Playing a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! What the fuck? Anyway, here's the deck I'm gonna play. So the deck I'm playing today is none other than super fun and interactive, definitely not damaging for the game in total, Drytron. I am so sorry. So if you're unfamiliar with Drytron, it's a combo deck, dude. It's the combo deck of all combo decks. If you get Dark Ruler, you must still go +2. It's really dumb. Here's a profile, because I'm kind of self-conscious about it. 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, because I'm not a weirdo. If you play 2 Zeta, you're bad. 2 Gamma, 2 Delta, so this is actually kind of weird. I don't play Fafnir, because I think it's a very, very bad card that no good player should play. So the theory with playing 2 different names instead of playing Fafnir, aka the bad card, is because you maintain your value with these through interruption. For an example, Gamma by itself can just make the new XYZ, which by the way, a little fucking broken, and Delta helps you draw cards, which in this deck, you're gonna see there is no bad draws whatsoever. If you draw a card, you're winning the game. It's really dumb. Gamma by itself, I would actually play 3 if it could actually revive itself, because Gamma discard Gammas, it's a 1-card XYZ, and that sounds really dumb, but we can't, so might as well not beg for it. Another reason is because this actually helps with interacting through boards a lot more than, say, Fafnir. For example, the way you win in grind matchups, and matchups like Tri-Zoo, Elwich, other bad decks, is actually getting card advantage off of them interacting with you. For an example, if you're going to a board with Conquistador or Dryden, say it's just a pop. If you activate Fafnir, they just pop it, and you just sort of trade even. That's very bad, you don't want to do that. If they pop your Drytrons, all of these things, they actually give you value and get their effects off, even though they're removed from the field. So Gamma, you activate it, pop the Gamma, you still have a Drytron on board. Delta, you draw a card. Zeta, Alpha, you win the game if you resolve them anyway. So the whole theory is you want to just resolve enough names as possible, and also 2 Gamma helps you play through Droll a lot more, which, I don't know if you know this, Droll is pretty good against this deck. Droll kind of hurts a little bit, so there's that. 3 Diviner, it's a pretty alright card. It's, nothing really said. That card's so fucking broken. 2 Ava, 3 Herald. Don't play 2 of Heralds. 2 Herald is very dumb. Do not do that. Play 3. This card's nuts. If you're not playing the pre-pet version, I think you need 2 Ava currently, just because the Beatrice you make turn 1, you normally don't make it until you're already into the combo, already have everything, so you use it to search your shit. And then if you're playing pre-pep already does that for you, so you just extra deck, you're gonna need it. But we're not, because we're bad, so we're playing 2. And then the level 1 hand trap, Droll, you need 2 Droll, dude. 2 Droll, Droll is just crazy right now. I think a lot of people have been playing Valor instead of this. I think it's just bad. It's bad, dude. Valor is such a bad card. I hate having to play it. But the reason you play level 1, in case you don't know, you normal summon it, then you have an extra level 1 to make your XYZ, because it's really broken. Have I said how broken that XYZ is? I don't think I have. It's broken. Dude. And also Droll, another reason, actually seriously, is the only decks you're afraid of are the Mirror and Dragon Link. And this is the best hand trap in the game against those 2. And then I maybe Tri-Zoo if you're scared of back row deck. Oh boy, they're gonna banish my card. Careful guys, that's crazy. Ben 10, I know, crazy, right? Ben 10 and Drytron, that's insane. Ida 10, this card's broken. So this card lets you actually cycle Ben 10 a 3rd time in your main combo, because you use this in a Diviner to make Beatrice instead of Ben 10. It is dumb. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. Also helps you play through Droll. Just make Ben 10 forehead, dump the card, get search anyway. It's good. Herald Ultimate, it's Herald, bro. It's Herald. Draken is, I've actually seen a lot of people cut this card. I disagree. When I first read this card, I thought it was shit. I will agree with that, and not the other thing. But then I realized, this is a machine. You can use this as Medionea's Drytron material. That's really dumb. Yeah, this card's good. It actually comes up a lot going through Dino boards, just because you actually need something that can beat over UCT if you don't have access to Natasha, which I'll talk about in a second. So Draconids is just really good at beating over shit that is just like too annoying. Also, the removal fight comes up a little bit. I only run one XYZ currently, which I'm waiting for them to get in the mail. Thank you, USPS. We appreciate it. Basically, just run it. Like, it's good. You can cut it if like your locals isn't like if your locals is playing Speedroid exclusively. This is bad. Otherwise, it should be fine. Natasha, I've seen so many people cut this card, dude. This card is so good. Helps you win in time. By that I mean it's the only reason you win in time. And also helps basically just remove literally anything besides Dragoon. So if your locals doesn't have Dragoon, I guess maybe don't play it. But like, it's so good, dude. Natasha, this is crazy. Those are the monsters. 4 copies of Drytron Nova, and then a bad one. Just this card's insane. It's also $40 now for some stupid fucking reason. Cyber Emergency, it's basically Rhoda for Drytron. 2 pots. You don't want to resolve. I only play 2. I'm not poor. I am poor, but hear me out. This card, my theory is you only want to resolve this card once. Your X-Drake is already tight enough as it is that you don't want to draw multiples off this, let alone hit it off itself. That being said, I always seem to fucking hit it, so please don't do that. Another thing is, a lot of people say this conflicts with Delta. Delta just comes in vanilla then, who cares? That's all you need, it's just a vanilla anyway. This card's crazy, just play it. 1 ritual spell. You need the ritual spell to play the deck. You don't need 2. If you play 2, why are you losing to Cosmic anyway? Just don't do that. Instant Fusion, I've seen a lot of people cut this card. I think that's very dumb. This card not only stops the biggest deterrent against your deck with his Drill and Lockbird, but also is an extender now. I've seen a lot of people cut it in like the old version of 3Ben 10, but like you do anything more with the deck, so who cares? I think this card's insane right now because the thing you bring out of it is a level 1, so it's also an extender. That makes sense, doesn't it? I guess not. And also, Natasha, if you target a Drytron, gets you back up to 1,000. So then, when you pay the 1,000, you can just do it for time anyway. Don't ask why I've labbed that. Called by yours, because you fear God. And then 3 Imperm, it is the actual best hand trap right now. No shot that there's any discussion behind it. Just play the card. It's good. That's all you have to do. Also, you can set it in the column with Schism, and that's how you win that matchup. I've done that a lot in testing, and it comes up. It's really good. This card, imagine a monster negate you can activate from hand on either player's turn is good? What? Oh. Anyway, on to the extra deck. So, extra deck. It's pretty standard because I'm very unoriginal. Link Career Book is Nova's a good card except for when it's not. IP Masquerade, it's it's part of the end board. You need it. Basically, there's ways to get even more interruptions. 6 negates isn't enough. There's some cool plays you can do with it, as well as with actually Link Rebo if you use this as material, and then you have an extra Drytron on board afterward. Battle phase, you can get rid of the Drytron for Link Rebo to protect your Apo. This is a lot of small things like that. It's a very good utility card. This for that exclusively. The most broken card in the deck that I will talk about later, because I love it. The 2 Nightmares, because you want to break boards. This is for interruption. This is for stupid-ass floodgates like any spell. Why are those cards still in the game? I have no fucking idea. I'm getting choked up even thinking about it. That's how fucking bad they are to deal with. Appaloosa, because I don't want my opponent to play the game. Access Code, because you need it, especially with this card. We'll get to in a second. Basically, this card is how you OTK. Also, is the out to the fucking new Cyberse card, like the Arrival Cyberse, whatever. That these go up to 6,000, it's unaffected. What the fuck is that card? Just make this with Apo's material to out it. That's all you need. And also, this card's pretty good. It just outsports. It's really dumb. Because also, all of your links are different attributes, because it's kind of cool like that. 2 Herald, you want one for the follow-up, one for the Divine Avi. If you're going first, you keep these and then banish your Intis off of Prosperity, and then going second, you banish one of these. That's pretty much that. One of these, I'm waiting for a second one to come in the mail. I will show you what I'm replacing in this with it. Basically, this card is fucking broken, oh my god. Beatrice, this card is also really dumb. I'm scared it will get banned soon. Please no. This card is how you play through Droll, it's how you do combo, it's how you search monster negate, like it's everything you want it to be and more. Little Fucko, it's a good Zeus target, like come on, it's a Zeus target. Downer Magician, this is what I'm cutting for the second Mew beta. Basically, I was testing with this to see how often it came up. It comes up slightly less often than the second Mew, so I'm gonna cut it for that, but it's a good card. If you find room for it, go for it. Then Zeus, because the card's broken. And then your Instant Fusion target, Millennium Eyes. It's a level 1, it negates Droll. That's all you need to know. It's very good to have, and you can actually use it as link material going forward after you get Herald on board. It's just a really good extender. And then that's what you do off of Diviner to stop also very stupid floodgates. That's pretty much it. I want to talk about Lina for a second. Lina, the Light Charmer, is the best generic Link 2 ever in this game. And it just came out, no one's talking about it. This card's insane. You can bring back Seal, make an instant access code. You can bring back Mechaba, have a free Omni-Negate. Bring back Construct to out your opponent's weird-ass boards, because that's what this shit all does, apparently. It's just, there's so much you can do with this card. It's just crazy. You can also bring back Lancia. You can, if for some reason they're playing Lancia against your deck, you can bring back Ghost Ogre even, actually. Ghost Ogre actually kind of hurts this deck, I'm not gonna lie. And also Effect Veiler as well. Another reason I'm not playing it, because it's a Lina target. But it's just crazy. You can bring back all your opponent's boss monsters and say, hey, they're mine now. And then you steal it with Natasha from the field and say, hey, they're mine now. The card's crazy. Please play it. This card's broken. So quick little side deck. We have one Lancia. So the theory that I have behind this is Lancia does dog shit this format going second. So the argument is, oh, you do it against Dino. Do it against Tri-Brigade. Dino doesn't care anymore because they have Scrap Raptor. Tri-Brigade can still play through it because they can just hard make the Bear Bloom like a Chad. Or they just always draw Revolt anyway because it's a 3-of, and they're going to Desires for it anyway. Like, it's dumb. Basically, I really don't like this going second. And I only put it in going first, actually, because you can search off of Ben 10. It's free, sort of. It's a floodgate that you can do on top of your negates, basically. It usually is somewhat unnecessary, but I just like it just because it helps stop things. But you only need one of it. I don't think it's good going second at all. The Spice, shout out to Tatsun for showing me this. This and then 3 Shaddoll Fusions, and I'm waiting to get at the shop when we go there. Basically, you guys know Brilliant Fusion is a pretty good card. I know it's banned, but what if you could just play it for free right now? It's really dumb. Basically, you do Brilliant Fusion going. You put this in and 3 Shaddoll Fusions going second. Activate it. Send a Drytron name and then one of these cards to make Construct. So you have a free Drytron name. Banish and everything, then Construct, Shin Dragon, pop a back row. It is really good in the mirror, and really good against Dragon Link, and those are the only 2 decks you really care about, so that's why you play it. Also, Battle Phase forces the Seal as well. Basically, you Battle Phase swing this in the Seal that forces the bouncer, else this gets destroyed. It's crazy. Like, Shaddoll Fusion is such a stupid card. and now you're just allowed to sort of abuse it for free. So you just sort of go from there, and it's good. I'm waiting for, I'm gonna get 3 in the store. Don't laugh at me. 3 Droplet, because I don't know why you play Dark Roller this format. The only thing you Dark Roller against Dragon Link is 2 negates, and then Droplet. Basically, you run Droplets because Draconids, it helps you just beat through boards. You just do Droplets for 3, summon Draconids, win the game. It's that easy. Twin Twisters, because back row is for some reason still relevant. I don't like it, and Harpies reboot for the same reasons. These cards should probably be banned because they are broken. But it's fine, you know, while they're not, let's enjoy it. It's good, that's the deck, let's see how it does. Whoa. So we just got to the local. Element Gaming, the best OTS in South Carolina. By that I mean the winner by default, because we only got 2 of them things, and one of them doesn't do Yu-Gi-Oh tourneys anymore, so thank you, Element. And we're actually here to do a bit of testing, so the tourney's actually tomorrow. And it's cool because on Fridays we don't have enough people to go, so we do some testing instead because we are addicted to this children's card game, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, we're just gonna go do that, gonna test a little bit, and we'll see how it goes with the new list. Okay, so our first round in testing, we're going against one of my good friends, Austin, and he, of course, is reenacting the classic match of Drytron versus Sky Striker. They really brought that card back, huh? That's super cool. Anyway, we actually start the turn off by doing...
Soul's Fake? Yes.
Okay, so bit of explaining to do. I recorded that intro part like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I'm a lazy man, and so something happened in that amount of time in this card game. Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, so me being the dumb ass that I am, thought it'd be a good idea to play Pendulum Striker at my locals once I saw Engage come off the list. Why? Probably because I saw Treff do it and thought, you know, I could do that somewhat competently. I own German Souls because, you know, English cards being over $100 isn't that cool, so I figured I'd try it out, you know, see how it goes. And this is the product of that. So, back to where we were. We are actually facing strikers. I decided not to lie about that one. Look how cool I am. And our starting hand is a perfect point I really want to illustrate with this list. And how playing 2 Blue Boy is correct. Do not play one of each, like, a certain Pendulum YouTuber did.
I think this is correct, because when you draw a piece, it actually makes them extenders versus starters, because since you draw one, you still have multiple copies of multiple names in the deck. So you can also still resolve Crowley even if they interrupt your Blue Boy or your secrets. For an example, thank you Austin, appreciate it. And you can still sort of get the knowledge and the draws off of it, and so you basically transform them into hand trap baits versus choke points. It's really cool. So after those draws, we draw Restage like a fucking G, and we have the best combo in the game, Magician Soul's Restage. It is a +3. It's really cool. That also ends on a spell negate. It's nice. So we go through our combo, do our thing, and we actually end with Time Gazer on the field because I know what I'm up against. Striker. The only way they out our board is if they pop our scales. Hey, Time Gazer's a cool card. Says no. It's really nice. And we end with Millennium Eyes as well. Shout out to Celine bringing it back because Infusion, who cares about that card? It's a bad card. As I already said in the Drytron profile, boom, that's a crossover, baby. We end up Millenniumizing his Ray, which is kind of crazy because it steals it from grave even though it activates on field and then negates it. So that's kind of a wrap there. He opens multi-roll because of fucking course he does. And we end up outing it with Mighty Master. And the Striker cannot really out that card. It's really cool. He scoops it up. Game 2, he activates Area 0 and... yes. I do think it's kind of weird that he doesn't search Ray with Engage, but instead he summons Rose to recycle Engage and get an extra piece of interaction. So basically, searched Widow Anchor, did Rose, did it, got a Shark Cannon. It's pretty cool. He ends up doing the Shizuku Shuffle. Shout out to MBT for somehow mispronouncing that. And he ends with 4 sets. Oh god. So after we ask my opponent if he has the win button, I realize the only way we're even getting close to lethal is by resolving Mighty Master's scale effect. So I'm thinking about it, and the only real interrupts Striker can put up are monster negates. So I just fucking summon a lot of monsters, forehead. Like, it's nice. The plan is to make 2 Selines, one getting negated by the Widow Anchor that I know he still has, and to use the counters on the second one for Mighty Master. Basically, I'm gonna have to basically fill the board with a lot of monsters, but I think we'll get there. Then I remember I pendulum summoned a Mighty Master, and he just so happened to give my Abductor in the Scale counter. If you remember game 1 from literally a minute ago, they can't out that shit, and he even points out that he could have just searched Ray. So, yeah, we 2-0 him. It's pretty cool.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm El Chapo. I'm Storm and Nelson.
Okay. What shitty deck you playing?
Actually inspired by the homie sitting in front of me.
I did play this deck a month ago. That's true.
This tells you all you need to know.
Right yeah. That's true. Hey, that hand is full combo.
That is full combo. That hand is.
Thank you, Storm, so much for the introduction. I am getting sued because of that. Anyway, we're actually fighting up against this Orcus Eldritch deck. If you couldn't tell by the 2 cards that said Orcus and Eldritch in the name, it's cool. So game 1, he hits us with his best starter off Prosperity. After some thought, I don't know why, a couple one-liners later, and all of a sudden we're staring down set 3 with a Babel on board. Here we go, we activate Souls, and we know where this is going. We send the Restage, and, well...
Did you draw another Restage?
No, I drew a 3rd Mighty Master.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, I activate Right Hand to play around my friend's questionable deck building, because he has Twin Twisters in there. A couple cards later, we had the fattest fucking crescendo of our life, and we end up with a Mighty Master Pass, because we drew 3 of them things. We still have a negate live on his turn, thanks to the Abductor, and are guaranteed full scales next turn since we bounce back the Abductor with the Master. Cool tip, do that. It plays around Twin Twisters, which he is fucking main decking for some reason. Anyway, we end up grinding for a bit where I noticed all of his removal kind of just makes him go neg, so Dingirsu and Conk are his main ways to clear problem cards, which kind of just end up back in my extra deck anyway, and I still have full scales. So we end up just sort of repeating the same summons while slowly building up advantage. Then he summons Access Code. We lost that one. So game 2, we open Servant. Feels nice to be the best player here. And we have a bit of an awkward hand where even after our spellbook draws, we still haven't got away to Mighty Master. And that means no Vortex. So we go with the backup plan. Saryuja Skill Dread. We draw double Mighty Master. That's convenient. Glad it heard future me say that. And end on the full board, which I just so happens to put in the area below my camera. I am new to this. We win that one. In game 3, we draw Harpy's Reboot. I am so sorry. And it's definitely not just because my camera died that I don't have footage. So with that, I believe we've got a tourney to get to. This time for real. See you there. Alright, so match 1 with the deck, and we are versus Adagnister, aka Expensive Zodiac. So let's make our master go through. Then he ashes our secrets. LMAO, good job. We get ashed and belled, but it doesn't fucking matter, because pins are the best deck. So the actual reason why it doesn't matter is all about sequencing. So the sort of mentality that I have when it comes to multiple starters or extenders in a hand is try and use the ones that you don't really care about resolving first to see what they think. For an example, I usually start with the secrets because, as I said earlier, it's kind of just hand trap bait, especially when you draw 2 of them like I fucking did. So basically, if they ash, it doesn't particularly matter, or say if they imperm the blue boy, they effect Veiler, because they'll just add another one. And they all basically do the same thing, they get you to knowledge. So at the end of the day, they're just sort of negging 1 in it. Now, to be fair, we would end with an extra monster on board if we didn't, but at the same time, that doesn't really matter with Pendulum, because we're just going to link it away for Selene anyway to revive it, so that's really cool. Anywho, we end up with 4 negates, and he doesn't play a card, and we go to game 2. So right before we start, I made the joke that Pendulum is just a blind second deck, and well, we somehow draw every striker card in our deck. This is actually really bad for me, since I sided out my Widow Anchor and don't have any more targets for engage. But luckily, that's why God invented Magician's Souls. I say I have no hand traps, let him go off, and he tries. He messed up and summoned a Dark off a Dark Templar, and I even say I'll let him take it back, but he commits like a complete and total Chad. I start with actually using Hornet Drones as material, and basically as a counter for my hard-drawn Servant. Very skilled, by the way, and Abductor. I'm the fucking greatest, by the way. And we go off. We send 2 off of Souls, 1 being engaged, fucking bad card, don't even resolve it this game, who even cares? And then we draw the first instance of the backup plan. And also restage. So we know that's an insane access code, and it's 2, and I make sure to summon a Jackal off the server because I know he has a Dandmari engraved that will absolutely get rid of the attack boost. So naturally, I negate it. And then I remember Wind Pegasus has an effect. So he bounces back my access code, and I'm like, well, shit. Then I do some reading. Access code isn't hard once per turn for some reason, so basically I just need to make another one and I win. So I Pendulum Summon, including to the zone where the arrival is pointing to, pure comedy by the way, and overlay with the reflection I brought back. I clear his board, he lives with fucking 100 points left because I'm bad, I end with 2 negates, and then we negate, and then we wrap it up. So, match 2 is against Abhiss, Lair of Darkness, and I refuse to call this deck Snake Pain. Please stop asking. So, he starts with normal Summon Lilith, and I think he's just trying to hit an imperm for my Selene. I found out after that I hit the Eradicator anyway, but I still played around it because, you know, kind of a good player and all. He sets 3 and passes, so that was a giant fucking brick, and we open nice. Another great example of hand trap bait because we draw multiple spell books, and I mean I had Called By anyway, but it's always a nice thought. But something cool is that Knowledge can actually send a spellbook card from hand as well, so we end up keeping a free link material on board and cutting out all the dead draws in our decks by searching a second secrets. I end up having exactly 9 spells in grave and on field after I pop his Lair with Daybreaker, summon Selene, bow up his back row with Mighty Master. I literally have lethal without Pendulum Summoning or using Servant's Effect. This hand was Jesus Christ incarnate. So game 2, hard draw Servant yet again. Literally have not played a game where I don't open it or mastery. It just pays to be this good at the game, dude. Like it's just so good. Until I realize I'm almost too good and also open 2 mastery. So this is actually pretty cool if he ends on a negate, because if he negates the activation of mastery, I can actually put an extra counter on the servant since I already have a copy in the grave, and that's basically an instant servant effect. Oh yeah, I also have a Widow Anchor. This hand's kinda broken. So he ends up on 38, which is perfect because it negates activations, and then he doesn't negate mastery. Shit. So, I'm a bit confused, but it doesn't really matter because activating the Mighty Master will give him that 3rd spell counter anyway, but it doesn't feel as good. I want to flex my big brain. Then I get fucking cosmicked. I Widow Anchor his shit, and I do this pretty cool play where I activate Time Gazer in the scale, because it's scale 4 if there's a Magician on the other side. I do forget about the effect of my second Chronograph in hand, which meant I didn't have to do this, but I literally only realized that while editing this, so sorry, I guess. I pop his board, because I gotta get that fucking 38 off the board, even though it kinda costs me any real interaction on his turn, but it's not like you can clear my access code and deal exact game, right? Exact game? Yeah, we get there. So, on to game 3, and something really cool actually happens while we're shuffling. I'll just let it play out.
My contribution to your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Just a bar, I assume.
No, you can have it.
Oh, sure. Thank you, man. For sure.
It was like $5. Yeah, you can have it.
Thank you so much, man.
It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I can do this right now, actually.
This is just like a really cool reminder of why I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the best card game community out there. This is my first time recording footage there, and I literally get a free tripod from one of the guys there just because I thought it would improve the quality of my video. Shout out to the homie Johan. He's a great guy that really knows his stuff, and I'm super appreciative of the gesture. You're a great example of why I love this community so much. So, back to the game, I guess. I finally end up going first with my new setup, by the way. And Jesus Christ, we open Mastery Abductor again. And also Blue Boy. Yeah, we're winning this game. Then my servant gets ashed. So, fun little fact about Servant. In the April 2020 policy updates, they changed the ruling where a negated special summon used to count as the summon, still counting towards cards that can only be summoned once, like the Girsu, the Striker Links, yeah, and fucking Servant. Fortunately, since this policy update, they don't. So that means Servant technically isn't once per turn anymore. So now, well, I think you see where this is going. So the end board's a bit weird because I had to play around Nibs instead of making Vortex, so I end up with an Appaloosa for 2, a Jackal, and a Mighty Master with a counter. My theory is I still have full scales, and I can make him go neg since all of his grave effects either summon a defense or require a tribute to summon themselves. So basically, I tribute his monsters for nothing. Then I get 5-headed, and when he tributes, he chains Gamma to my Appaloosa. Thank God I had the Jackal still on board. We wrap it up from there, and Pendulum's doing pretty goddamn alright. So, game 1, we lose the die roll, and oh boy, it's Dragon Link. So this is post-ban list, obviously, because I'm playing fucking Engage. And LP's already been banned, and Striker's limited to 1 now. And it's kind of done nothing for the inboard of Dragon Link, but it's made it a lot more fragile to where a single hand trap can usually end the turn, or if you ash Chaos Space, even ashing Quick Launch is kind of enough. Usually it's just Tracer. And then I realized I'm not playing any hand traps in my deck. Oh boy, let's see what happens. He does whole combo, because I drew a fucking Time Gazer again. So after getting a card ripped from our hand, we're looking at 2 negates, 2 bounces, and some pretty goddamn good follow-up, try as I might with some Daybreaker shenanigans. I'm viewing this as a perfect example of the thought process going into a side deck. So basically, I'm just going to side out all of the go second stuff, like Widow Anchor, hell, even like Ray or Hornet Drones isn't super good. So I'm basically going to put in a lot of things to where I know I'm going first, if I'm going to keep in Called By, keep in Instant Fusion, a lot of things that make sure his disruptions don't really matter towards me. And even so, I'm going to put in some cards that, like, you know, if I draw them like hand traps, will be pretty good against him, even though I already have negates on the board. And then game 2, we draw Droll. Okay, so game 3, we open the fucking Time Gazer again. What? Okay, we just gotta chill. I know I have Dark Ruler in my hand, so we're all good. Worst case, we have to play through a bounce and a hand trap. And then he mills off the Chaos Ruler.
God damn it, no! What the fuck?
Let's go!
With obscure decks, and they're like, oh, this card came up like all the time, it's great for me, and then they're like, this card...
So, for those unaware, he mills his 2 bricks that need to stay in his deck or he can't combo. It is immensely funny, even more the fact that it is a 60-card deck. So, he ends up ending on Seal Crystal Wing, which is a bounce and a monster negate, and some mysterious back row that I am almost positive is another bounce. So we've got to deal with that. So I'm going over my hand, and I'm pretty sure I can clear his board while ending on at least 1 negate thanks to the mastery of my hand. It's going to be rough if he has any hand traps, but if not, I've got at least a chance. So basically, now my game plan has entirely changed, where I just need this mine to stick. The problem is, and why mine was never really an issue in Dragon Link format, is because they have a trap card bounce that I'm pretty sure is a set. So basically, I've just got to bait it out. So I actually end up searching Reflection off of Mastery, because worst case, I'm just going to bounce the trap if I have to get his mine to stick for at least 2 turns. And then he just bounces my Link 1. So then I realized I could just pin some of the Time Gazer, then remake the Link 1, thank you for that, because the only reason I was doing it was because I also hard drew the knowledge by the fucking way. So, with a swift apology, I drop the mine and pass. So, As I said, my opponent's running a 60-card deck, and with me running like 12 draw cards, it's going to be really hard to deck him out, so I'm only using mine as an insulator for my plays, not anything, you know, game-breaking. So after I pass, he starts using Dragon Ravine to dump stuff like Safer, then Levy, and... Oh, he's setting up for an OTK. Yeah, we cannot pass forever, and it gets that much worse when he sets a card. So, if you've been paying attention, that's probably the goddamn bounce. So, if I'm going to do anything, I've got to do it now with the hand I have. So basically, I use all his draw cards I mentioned to dig through for another low scale, because after we summon Reflection, I'm going to be under my own mine, and I need a way to get rid of it because he only has one monster. I think of this line where I make Celine, then remove all the counters from it from a Mighty Master in hand. Even though I already have a scale 8 in my other zone, it's risky, but I think it's what I have to do, because I have to pop my own mine. And as I'm saying this, he chains Quick Launch. So there goes that plan. I just pop with my Daybreaker, I don't give a shit. I actually drew Instant Fusion, which helped a lot since it guaranteed Crystal Wing couldn't negate the Daybreaker, which is kinda dumb by itself because it just puts him back under mine, but hey, the thought's nice. He has to negate the Millennium Eyes of Crystal Wing because I chained it to his chamber, which was pure comedy again, and I don't think he realized I could do that. Then I activate Hornet Drones, and this is where the game gets really dumb. I make Celine, then bring back the Millennium Eyes. Not once per turn, by the way, so I'm pretty much guaranteed to resolve whatever the fuck I want. And by that I mean access code, which can't be responded to anyway. I'm so good at this game, dude. So I actually end up searching the second Mighty Master of the Abductor, and that gives me just enough for lethal with access code.
So yeah, the script ran out of words. Never done this before. Not sure that's supposed to happen, but I guess that'll be the end of the video. I do think I'm going to be doing it a bit more though. I really enjoyed making this video, and I think it came out. Alright. As for how we did, I went 3-1 actually. I lost in the finals to the first person I played against in the video actually, Austin, who was playing his signature Invoked Eldritch deck. I got called by twice. And that wraps that one up. Okay, so wondering, we did get one half of a box, and I got all fucking super rares. Nice. Yeah, that's the end of the video. See ya.